The Amazon. The most incredible place I know about. There are more species living here than anywhere else on the planet. And most of those species, they're bugs. And right now, I'm hunting predators.
In the Amazon, just about every bug you meet is predator or prey. Most are both. Bugs have evolved 1,000 forms of aggression, each one suited to their particular lifestyle. But you know, everything in the forest is kind of hidden. So you really have to look. There's one thing that's certain. You're being watched, no matter where you are. And you're being watched by bugs. Millions of them. Over half the species on the planet are bugs. Ants alone outweigh the entire human race. And if you think they're not that aggressive, think again. Bugs are really small. When you're the runt of the litter, you get tough quick. And some of the most aggressive bugs are the ones that evolve potent defenses against the most hardcore predators in the world. This is not the aggression you think you know. This is bug aggression. And the bugs that really get my blood stirring are the ones that have come up with truly astonishing ways to kill. Or keep from being killed. Slashing mandibles. Deadly poison. But this is a game where the stakes are always getting raised. Bug number 1 mounts a powerful attack. But bug number 2 has evolved a potent defense. And over time, this escalating arms race creates ever more lethal weapons. My search for King Thug of the Bugs begins with an unsavory character I'm just dying to meet.
Whoa. I've just seen something that is very exciting. And this fellow is going to command a little bit more respect than just hands and nets. With luck, I won't get bit. Okay, friend.
This is a bug built for attack. The giant Peruvian Scolopendra, the world's longest centipede.
This is a very powerful animal. That's a serious amount of biting power. The mandibles are modified legs that are hollowed like a hypodermic needle, and at the base of them, there's a big poison sac, which, just like a viper, envenomates a wound. Look at that, look at that. I could let these forceps go, and it's holding those things together.
This is just a juvenile. But a full-grown giant Scolopendra can be a foot long and an inch around, with over 20 pairs of legs. The stretch limo of the bug world. When Scolopendra runs you to ground, it pumps a potent venom into you with its poison claws. Gripped by razor-sharp legs, you're not going anywhere. Ever. The Scolopendra embodies a kind of aggression we know pretty well. It's a big, fast, hungry hunter. But right here in the Amazon, there's a very different kind of predator that can take on the Scolopendra and just about anything else unlucky enough to get in its way. They're grizzly specialists in the art of the mass attack. army ants. It may not be big, but it's got friends. Lots of friends.
This is the front of a raiding swarm of army ants, and from here in that direction is what you call death and destruction.
Most efficient predators in Bug City, army ants have a good claim to the title. They overwhelm their prey through sheer numbers. Each colony can contain 1 million of these tenacious fighters. Soldiers fan out, forming a solid wall up to 45 feet long and 6 feet across. This is what you might call corporate aggression. Thousands of individuals join forces. They have only one objective: to eat.
All army ants have soldiers, which not only have a potent sting, but they have mandibles. Ah! Well, as you can see, it's not only driven the mandibles into my end of my finger, but it's also stinging me, and it hurts. There's venom going into the tip of my finger, but it's the tip of these mandibles that are really sharp, and it's moving down into my flesh.
These tiny hunters are relentless. Once an army ant gets its mandibles into you, it's not gonna let go, even in death.
Many indigenous people in the Amazon use the big mandibles. If they get a cut, they take individual soldiers and they line them up along the cut. It physically sutures those together.
The ants are decapitated, but their jaws stay put, creating a neat line of stitches. Don't let the handiwork give you the wrong idea. Army ants aren't good Samaritans. They're master killers. And that's why I've got to see for myself what kind of pain these guys can dish out. You know, what I've always wondered is what's it like being a bug and the army ants find you? I mean, what's the last thing that goes through your mind as your life winks out? I'm deep in the heart of the Amazon jungle, where the only surefire way to really grasp army ants' power is to lie down in a sea of them, naked. But that ain't happening.
One thing is very, very clear. If you lie down in a raiding swarm of army ants, you will get bit, stung, and swarmed all over. And ow!
Once their defensive instincts are fired up, they just don't quit. They're easily piercing this protective suit.
Ouch! Ow!
And here's the scary part. If I were injured and couldn't get away from these terrors, I would die a slow, painful death, attacked by millions.
Ow! You know, I think this is about enough.
Army ants may take the prize for the most aggressive paramilitary force in the bug kingdom. But aggression comes in many forms. It can be a vast militia that runs roughshod over anything in its path. Or it can be a single, solitary assassin that's perfected the art of the ambush. I've come to the heart of the American Southwest, the Sonoran Desert. One of the harshest places on Earth. In this desert battleground, anyone and everyone could be an enemy and a meal. I've made the trip from the Amazon to Arizona to visit one of the planet's most feared predators. and a formidable defender as well. Say hello to my little friend, the scorpion. In Sonora, scorpions are everywhere, though during the day, you'd hardly know it. So tonight, my colleague Justin Schmidt and I are going on a hunt.
Let's do it.
Scorpions are almost impossible for humans to spot at night, but we've got a special piece of equipment, night vision. Under ultraviolet light, scorpions glow in the dark.
And here's a third. Wow, look at
A mysterious mixture of chemicals in their exoskeleton triggers this blue-green light, possibly to attract prey.
And there's another one. It's
Even a little UV radiation from the moon and stars will make them shine faintly.
Holy smokes. And there's another one. It's moving along.
Under my flashlight, it's practically invisible.
You don't see her with that light on. So when you turn your light off, she just comes right back. Amazing.
Scorpions aren't gratuitously aggressive bugs. In fact, they're kind of antisocial. But when it's time to eat, they've got what it takes.
As predators, scorpions have two really great tools: a sting and strong pinchers. They lay in wait at night, not moving. And if something comes by, ambush.
Scorpions attack by thrusting their tail stinger into their victims, injecting paralyzing venom. Once the prey has been immobilized, they use their pinchers like wire cutters, methodically chopping it up. But these weapons aren't just for hunting. The scorpion often needs them to fight off a violent assault. Surprised by a hungry shrew, the scorpion's first defensive response is to run away and hide. But if the attacker is persistent, the scorpion has to go toe-to-toe with the enemy, and the stinger is used to mount an aggressive defense. This time, the scorpion goes down fighting, but it doesn't always turn out that way. Especially when scorpions are defending themselves against us. Now, scorpions do have good reasons for invading our territory. Our houses offer plenty of the warm, dark corners they love. But when the intruder is programmed for aggression, there's always a chance its weaponry can be turned on us when we least expect it. They're the bugs that dart through our nightmares. Scorpions on the prowl. Army ants on the march. They come from a place where mercy just isn't in the vocabulary. I haven't met the bug world's foremost aggressor yet, but I may be about to. Spiders.
All spiders are predators. There are no vegetarian spiders.
Of all the bugs out there, the arachnids may scare us the most. There are over 35,000 species of spiders, and their aggression takes many different forms. They cocoon, poison, and sometimes eat their victims alive. And these are just some of their tamer strategies. Take the raft spider. It doesn't even need a web to eat. Hairs on its legs allow this stealthy hunter to walk on water. It lies motionless, waiting for an unsuspecting victim to pass by. Is lurking on the water's surface aggressive? Ask the fish. Some spiders create their own predatory tools. The golden orb weaver spins huge webs with silk that rivals the tensile strength of steel. Anything unlucky enough to fly into an orb weaver's death trap is doomed. Anything. Even a bat. The orb weaver will feed on this catch all night long. Like these spiders, many bugs have had to evolve ways to defeat creatures much larger than they are. Much larger than they are. I've known and loved a lot of spiders, but tarantulas give me the creeps. Maybe if I lie really still, they won't hurt me. Our fear of tarantulas is very, very old.
Centuries ago, the bite of a large hairy spider was thought to cause excruciating pain, uncontrollable muscle spasms, acute depression, shameless exhibitionism, and involuntary erection.
And the victims died laughing. If these guys were going to eat me, they'd rear up, drive their fangs into me, pumping a potent payload of venom that would first paralyze and then turn my insides to liquid. And then they'd drink me. Tarantulas are the biggest spiders in the world, immensely strong. They don't really use muscles to extend their legs. They walk by pumping blood into them. This rattlesnake has some powerful toxins of its own. But it's just a hair too slow this time. Once they pounce, tarantulas impale their victims using their fangs like daggers. Their venom is a devastating cocktail of paralyzing agents and digestive chemicals. It's the gift that keeps on giving until it takes all the fight out of you. Scorpions. Ow! Army ants. Ouch! Tarantulas. These bugs are definitely in the Aggressor Hall of Fame. But not every world-class predator is an extrovert. To get a look at one of the sneakier stars of the deadly bug cosmos, I'm going down under. Australia seems like it was invented to spawn the most aggressive creatures in the world. But aggression isn't always about technique. It's also about the end result. A low-key strategy can kill you just as dead as a frontal assault. We're going into the belly of the beast to see what really goes into the belly of the beast.
I'm joining Dr. David Merritt
To find these
cave-dwelling killers.
In the heart, darkness. David's an expert in insect physiology with a special interest in certain luminous predators that happen to live right here. These bugs put a whole new twist on aggression. At first, we seem to be looking at a starry night on the roof of the cave.
So many of them.
But this isn't a starry night. It's the death trap of the glowworm. Glowworms aren't actually worms at all, but the larvae of fungus gnats. And their predation isn't really textbook aggressive. It's more what you might call passive-aggressive. A chemical reaction in their abdomen produces a cold blue light they can switch on and off at will.
Well, basically they're fooling flying insects into thinking that they're stars.
Attracted by the blue-green lights, the bugs fly right into the glowworm's trap,
You see the webs coming down?
a stream of webbing called a fishing line. When an insect touches down on one of these sticky filaments, the game is over. Checkmate.
Really innocuous fillers, just these beautiful little blue lights, but actually they're very vicious predators.
But to see them in action, we need some bait.
Well, Phil, it's rare to be able to see them catching anything in the wild. So what I've got is this modified ballpoint pen here I use, just a modified tip. You can put a little fruit fly in the end and then press the button on the ballpoint pen and flick it into the web of the glowworm.
So it's a fly launcher.
Yeah.
So there's a really nice one. Let's try that one.
Okay. Fruit fly.
The fruit fly is stuck tight to the fishing line.
Hey, looks like he's going for it.
It's got, wow,
It's moving around.
look at that.
All that remains is for the glowworm to slowly suck the life out of its victim. Subtle, yes. Crafty, yes. Aggressive, definitely.
They lure their prey to a constellation of death.
If there were a prize for sneakiest bug assassin, the glowworm might take first place. But some predators don't bother to hide a thing. When they get aggressive, you know it.
Meet the weaver ants. Don't look like much, do they? But it's not about just a few of them. It's about thousands of ants, all organized, all talking to each other.
Sometimes they're saying, let's kill and eat this beetle. Other times they're saying, let's chase away the big bug with the red bandana. And what they're saying now is, let's build the home of our dreams. A weaver ant's nest starts very simply as a group of workers finds a pliable leaf. A troop of ants lines up, holding the edge in their mandibles. As one group of workers pulls the edges together, others gently squeeze larvae, oozing out a thin thread of silk. Then, like tailors, the ants stitch the leaves together. This all seems pretty peaceful. But what makes the weaver ants excellent construction workers also makes them great predators.
So if I was a prey item, an innocent prey item, that just happened to just rest ever so gently on this branch here, you could see that the ants, they, with great glee, come up to visit me. They're actually not doing anything except biting me with their mandibles and getting through into pieces of skin, which are actually pretty tender. And once they get under your skin, well, they put a little spray of formic acid into the wound. Imagine having 10
10,000 of these things, little tiny nicks and cuts in your skin, and then you dump vinegar in it. And it's actually not all that pleasant, but what you can see is how they hang on like grim death. As this caterpillar is finding out. It's many times the size of a weaver ant, but it stands no chance against this swarming army. Each soldier spraying poisonous formic acid into the caterpillar's wounds. They say, some days you're the windshield, some days you're the bug. Today's hunter can become tomorrow's prey in a flash. So these ants are not only organized predators, but weaver ants are really organized about something else, and that is how to defend their nest. But even if you're a disciplined army of thousands, there are some predators that just can't be beaten back. I've experienced the power of the weaver ant personally. But this butterfly caterpillar is about as vulnerable as an armored tank. Soldiers furiously attack the invader, but there's no way they're going to penetrate its thick skin. Finally, the caterpillar reaches its target, the nursery. Some of the workers try desperately to carry the young to safety. Snatching a grub, the caterpillar slowly and methodically devours it. Weaver ants may not be able to ward off a fortress on legs, but they seem to have no problem with less fortified invaders, like me. And they're sending me a message along with the message they're sending amongst each other, and that is to get away from their territory and their nest. And you know what? I can hear that. Going out to kill and eat something is aggressive by definition. Surprisingly, some of the most aggressive bugs out there aren't the predators at all, but the defenders. Some bugs run, others hide, still others turn and fight. But one of the most aggressive defenses may be having a really nasty flavor. I'm paying a call on my colleague, Dr. Justin Schmidt.
Is this giant hairy scorpion?
An expert in the many ways insects cause pain. Justin studies the defenses of bugs. It's all about not getting eaten by predators. So Justin, what do we got?
Well, we have a vinegaroon. It's a magnificent animal, and the interesting thing about this thing is it can spray about 70% acetic acid plus a few other nasty smelling acids, and this is very effective defense.
The smell says you do not want to eat me.
Okay, Phil, are you ready to experience the vinegaroon's defensive system?
Yeah, I suppose so, but I'm not certain I want acid sprayed in my eyes. So I'm going to take a little precaution here.
Good idea. Oh, we have to do it harder than that. Just really give him a squish there. There we go. Whoa! Yeah, isn't that pretty amazing? It's an unrepressible cough. You know, you just can't stop.
But on a salad, it wouldn't be bad. But that stinky little bug is just small potatoes compared to the master of the ultimate secret weapon. In a Cornell University lab lurks one of my personal heroes, a founding father of chemical ecology. That's the science of how animals communicate via smell and taste. His name is Dr. Tom Eisner.
defense is at the very core of insect success. I make it a point to assume when I find an insect that I haven't seen before that he's got some secret weapon hidden up its sleeves, and you can uncover it.
This legendary bug man's been studying a legendary bug for over 30 years. He knows that in the bug world, no one plays defense better than the bombardier beetle, a genius of chemical warfare. Tom's going to give me a demonstration.
Okay, well, just make believe we're an ant. We're going to bite it with a forceps.
The bombardier beetle's secret weapon is a gun turret that can aim in almost any direction and with extreme precision. In the beetle's abdomen are 2 glands, each containing a different chemical. When the bug senses a threat, the chemicals are mixed in the explosion chamber, and bang! Firepower!
That's pretty incredible.
Indeed. This vile beetle juice actually shoots out at the temperature of boiling water, 100 degrees centigrade. It's a weapon that comes in very handy in the wild. No predator wants that taste in its mouth. All over the world, bugs rely on the look but don't touch defense, or the snatch but don't swallow defense. And of all the disgusting tasting bugs out there, the bombardier beetle may taste the worst.
Do you at all think of yourself as the emperor of bad taste?
I'll accept that title.
Though it's not as blatantly aggressive as a deadly sting, making yourself disgusting may be an even more effective defense. Now, I've found that bad taste is often more pronounced in males than females. But honeybee males are kind of tasty. Or so I'm told. But the only way to know for sure is the honeybee taste test. Phase 1, the males.
1, 2, 3. Kind of like a fresh barbecue with a little bit crunch to it.
Okay, so it doesn't taste like chicken, but it wasn't too bad. What about the gals?
Oh yeah, we should definitely. You ready? 1, 2, 3. Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned, the females taste like lighter fluid. Worse.
That was disgusting.
And the point of the story?
Well, if you're going to eat bees, the lesson is to eat the males. Forget the females.
When a bug is particularly vulnerable to attack, sometimes nature gives it more than one way to defend itself. Case in point, the honeybee. Honeybees have the bad flavor defense. Problem is, this only helps against an enemy that's trying to eat them. Not an enemy that just wants to kill the honeybee to get at its young. Tasting bad is useless against this foe, the Japanese giant hornet. A roving hunter as aggressive and well-armed as they come. When a hornet scout finds a rich honeybee hive, she sprays it with a chemical marker and takes off back to the hornet nest to alert her sisters. Then they follow the homing beacon back to the hive. A handful of giant hornets will cut the defense to pieces in half an hour. And then they come after the babies. What few bees have survived are helpless to save their young. But the Japanese honeybee has one truly amazing way of protecting itself from this kind of slaughter. It's called Roast the Scout. First, they allow the hornet inside the hive. Suddenly, hundreds of bees engulf the scout. But its death won't be a quick one. The bees begin raising their collective body temperature by vibrating their abdomens. The highest temperature a hornet can tolerate is 115 degrees. The bees raise their temperature to 117 degrees. This scout will never reveal the secret of the bee's location. Dead hornets tell no tales. This is one of the most incredible combinations of guile and sudden aggression in the bug kingdom. The world over in search of the most terrifying bugs Mother Nature could come up with. I've been bitten in the Amazon, manhandled by tarantulas, and completely grossed out in the caves of Australia. But as that little girl from Kansas said, there's no place like home. Because it's here I'm going to finally come face to face with the most aggressive bug I've ever seen.
Mr. Browning?
Gainesville, Florida. There's a dangerous wild animal on the loose. And in suburbia, chances are it's living right down the street from you.
So there you are, trimming your hibiscus plants or looking for guinea fowl nests, and bam! You've got thousands of yellow jackets all over you.
Yellow jackets are considered one of the most aggressive stinging insects in the world, and particularly dangerous in the United States because they live near people in such high concentrations. Yellow jackets produce the largest brood of any wasp in North America, a magnet for predators like bears, skunks, and raccoons. So there's a good reason this bug's got a hair trigger. And when you invade their turf, they turn their excruciatingly painful stings on you. They kill more than 50 people in the U.S. every year. And Benny Brown has had enough.
Found a lot in my life, but that one's relatively close to the house.
Yeah?
We and the grandkids were out there riding up down the road in the golf cart, and I thought we might need to move it.
Benny's been living with a nearby yellow jacket nest for too long. He's called in some professional help.
Good to meet you.
Nice to meet you. Putting them in that.
This is John Simpkins, an entomologist and owner of Insect IQ, a Tampa-based pest control company. In the spring, yellow jackets are pretty mild-mannered, only interested in eating other bugs, to make a protein mash for their young. But in late summer, as their larvae develop, they become more protective, more aggressive. They will sting at the drop of a hat. I've got to see this for myself. I just hope I'm dressed for the occasion.
Oh. After you, John. You're not nervous about this, right? Just a little bit.
One yellow jacket sting isn't going to be life-threatening. The problem is, it's never just one.
Man, there are a lot of wasps here. Yeah, they're coming and seeing what's going on. When they're out in nature and they're foraging for food, they're not going to harm you. They're not protecting anything. Now that we're close to their home, their environment, their queens, they're going to be very aggressive if we get into them and start stirring them up. Wow. In seconds, they're already pouring out now. They're spinning around. It's amazing how quickly they'll respond by the thousands, just standing here and talking in front of the nest. We didn't disturb it. We didn't drive over it with a lawnmower. And you can smell the alarm pheromone. They're already attacking me, and I'm just standing here talking.
If they're this aggressive with us just being in the general area, imagine what's going to happen when we get to work on this nest. I don't have to imagine, because just a few miles down the road from here, a human went up against a nest of yellow jackets and lost. It was a warm morning in April, and Albert Wellner was doing what he loved best, riding around on his tractor. Tom Wellner recalls his father's passion for nature.
He was an outdoorsman. It takes a lot of work to keep this property up. He just loved being up there in the woods and loved riding around on that new mower.
Albert drove pretty far out into the woods. When his tractor got tangled up in some thick vines, he couldn't know he was spinning his wheels right over a nest of yellow jackets. To the bugs, Albert's tractor was a predator. Immediately, the alarm spread like wildfire through the nest. Defenders poured out by the hundreds. Within seconds, Albert was engulfed in wasps, each stinging him over and over.
But when the insects got to him, he simply would not have been able to react in a timely manner or even at all to the stings.
The toxin set off a huge allergic reaction that Albert's immune system simply couldn't cope with. His wife found Albert's body near the riding mower. John Simpkins was called in and arrived about 20 minutes later.
I've never seen anything that bad since I've been in business. It was a horrible sight. He was laying on the ground, stings all over him. They were swarming all over the tractor. Hundreds and thousands were pouring out.
Albert had been stung hundreds of times and was dead in half an hour.
It was a tragic loss, and our family misses him terribly, but those yellow jackets are dangerous. They're dangerous.
To avoid another mass yellow jacket attack in the neighborhood, we're going to have to deal with this nest.
This is definitely the sound and vision of trouble. Look at them now. They're pouring out now. We've got hundreds and thousands pouring out right now. Okay. They're emptying the nest now. Whoa! Look at them. Jeez. Look. Look at the top entrance exit. You've got thousands coming out of there, just pouring out. Look at that. That is unbelievable. Look at my hand. They're just all over it. I don't know about you, but I'm getting a little twitchy here. Oh, that wasn't good. This is... Ah! Ow! This is a little weird. Oh my God, look at my hands. I think it's time to let them relax a little bit.
It's bad enough being in that storm of stingers with protective suits on. Anyone who stumbled on that nest without one would be in big trouble. John's brought the tools we need to eliminate the yellow jacket colony. Wow.
Here.
It looks like we've found the most aggressive predator in the bug world. And it's us.
Wow, there's a big mama. This is a queen stinging. You can see how long her stinger is. Yeah. You got more queens? Look at this. Predators like this can keep insect populations down and be very beneficial to humans. But unfortunately, sometimes they build their nests too close to homes and kids. Well, you could see how many thousands there were, and they just have to be taken out.
Bugs. Ounce for ounce, the most skillful fighters in the natural world. From the horrifying to the unbelievable to the overpowering. For bugs, aggression in its many forms is just a way of life. The battleground they call home is tiny. But if you look closely, you'll see all the dramas unfolding, with winners and losers, the speedy and the stealthy, the loners and the corporation. Bugs that eat bugs. Boy, I love them all. Even the ones that scare the pants off me. You know, one of these days, they're probably gonna kill me. But until they do, I'm not gonna stop till I get my fill, or they get theirs.